Tonight, we are just 5 hours away from a possible government shutdown. Good evening and thanks for watching. I'm Brennan Gurley. Democrats and Republicans appear to remain in a stalemate over how to keep the government funded. The Senate plans to bring up a House-passed bill for another vote at some point today, but few avenues seem viable to avoid a shutdown by tonight's 11 o'clock deadline.
If Republicans cause a shutdown, they'll probably keep lying and distracting because they know we're on the side of the American Democrats are on the side of the American people.
We just heard the minority leader come to the floor of the Senate, once again refusing to admit it's the Democrats who are driving America into a shutdown.
To avert a shutdown, the Senate could pass a Republican measure today that extends federal funding at its current level until mid-November. But Democrats are demanding the bill include an extension of Affordable Care Act benefits expiring this year and reverses cuts to Medicaid. Any measure taken up by the Senate to keep the government open would need bipartisan support or 60 votes to pass before heading to the president's desk. If a shutdown happens, experts say it could be different for Americans' money than those before it. CNN correspondent Karen Caifa joins us now live. And Karen, as all this uncertainty unfolds, what can consumers do to protect their own money?
Yeah, Brennan, this is a case where the government shutdown would extend well beyond here, the metropolitan D.C. area, where we have such a concentration of federal workers. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that about 750,000 workers, not just here in D.C., but across the country, federal workers could be furloughed every day of a shutdown. There's also a very uncertain labor market right now. So all of these things that households need to be mindful of. First and foremost, in any uncertain economic time, the consumer finance experts I've spoken with say make sure you have an emergency savings plan. It doesn't have to be 3 months or 6 months of expenses if that's a little intimidating to you. Anything helps while you are working to be putting money in the bank. Also think about cutting down your credit card debt. It's hard in a high interest environment right now to do that. Make sure you take a priority with those bills. And finally, nobody wants to think about a layoff or a furlough, but make sure your paperwork is in order. Know what your plan of attack is in the event that that comes.
And Karen, the uncertainty and volatility on Capitol Hill and elsewhere could rattle the economy just as retailers and other businesses prepare for the holiday season. So how have businesses been preparing for an important stretch with so much uncertainty?
Well, one place to look, Brennan, is typically in their hiring numbers. This is typically the time of year where you get major retailers trumpeting the thousands of positions they're creating and bringing on board for the holiday season. We are not getting that this year. And Challenger Gray and Christmas crunched the numbers and said that this could be the worst season for retail hiring, holiday retail hiring, since 2009, which was, of course, during the Great Recession. We're not seeing the blockbuster hiring proposals come forth. That could change later on if retailers get a sense that consumers are feeling it. They're in the holiday spirit. But if a government shutdown occurs, Brennan, it is just one extra thing that could rattle the confidence of the consumer. And of course, as we know, consumer spending drives the U.S. economy.
All righty, Karen Caifa, thank you.